Hey guys, do you still love your Roland FA-06 in 2025? I'm going to show you a couple of tones today, some new tones in the synth. Let us know if you still love your Roland FA-06 in the comments below. The first step is to select a PCMS tone here where you see tone type. We press enter and we have the SNS tones first, so we just rotate and look, here is PCMS. We can pick any of them and just press enter. The next step is to press shift and this button here, the last one with the red light, tone edit. Then you select the tone utility and you say tone initialize. It says tone initialize, so you press select. Are you sure? Yes. For the tone we are making, we want to have two partials, one with a pulse and the other with a sine wave. So what we do, we come down here on the wave tab where we are and we move to the second one and we turn that on with the there we go. So we see that 1 and 2 are on and 3 and 4 are not. So we're just using two partials in this, and the first one we are going to do, we have just to select the wave number. So we rotate the wheel and select the partial down here, and we have selected number 560, which is a sync pulse, and we can audition them. A nice pulsy wave for that one, and then we press the arrow to move over to the next one, and we rotate here quickly. I know where they are, but if you don't, you have quite a lot to go through, or you can look in the manual, the tone list, that gives you all of them. And we are going all the way up to, I think it's 564. Alright, so here we go. There we go. Sine. There we are. 564 is correct. So we're hearing the mixture of the pulse with the sine. If we want to just audition the sine by itself, what we need to do is we need to go up here and turn off the little pink dot in number 1. And using the wheel and the up arrow, and now we will hear the sine by itself. Right? And if we turn it back on, we're hearing all two together. But there's a reason why we want to have two waves, a pulse and a sine, because the tone is going to end up on the sine and start out with the attack with the pulse for the particular synth voice that I have in my head that I'm trying to show you. So the next step is to set up the pitch. We specifically want the pitch envelope. So we're going to come down here, and we're mostly concerned with the envelope time and the envelope levels. Right, see, we have 4 levels, and we have, well, actually 5 levels and 4 times. So this is going to show what happens when we strike the key, and what we want for this is we want the pitch to first drop and then rise above and go back to its level. We have some motion in this patch where the pitch changes as you hit the note in a very pleasing way. And we can do that because we can set both negative and positive levels. So notice down here we can actually see a little visual of what it's going to look like. Okay, what is it going to look like? We can see it down here. So what we want to do, it looks like it's correct right now, so I don't have to change anything. Okay, so we move over now to the, let's go up top. We move over now to the TVF and to the TVF envelope. We have a low pass filter, which is what we want. We want a cutoff frequency of 76 on the first one. First of all, we're not going to use any filter on the sine wave at all. So we turn off the filter there on the sine wave, so we don't worry about that anymore, what the settings are. Because there's numerous settings in this thing, but once we do what we're supposed to do, we don't have to worry. So now we need to lower the cutoff frequency because it's wide open. And we want to lower the cutoff frequency to get the fundamental of that pulse wave. So what do? We can lower that cutoff frequency to about 76. You can hear it. Notice it's gone down quite muted at that point. And we want to increase the resonance, 46 on the resonance, and go to the envelope. We're going to start with the envelope depth here. Let's come down. Right, we're going to put that to about 35. There's the times and the levels. Notice, see, we have time 1 to 4 and level 0 to 4. So we need to set these. Now notice how they're set right now. All at 127, 1, 2, or 3 at 127. And the times are set for 10, 10, and 64. We want a sharp spike for our pulse. So we want the level 1 to be 127. That's 127. But we want all the others to be 0. Right? Right, so we've got one level 1 at 127. Well, it's a bit narrow there, as you can see. You need a magnifying glass to really be happy with that. But anyway, that should work. Let's hear it. Hearing is doing everything. The last thing we need to do for this patch is go to the TVA envelope. There we are at the TVA envelope, and set some times on the filter. This TVA envelope is essentially an envelope generator, a voltage for the voltage control amplifier. Basically, that's what it is. Now, as you see here, it just goes on to maximum with the. It goes on to maximum when you touch the key and goes off. So you have, basically that is the on and off. So there's no release time, and sustain is at maximum if you're thinking in terms of the standard ADSR envelope generator. But we want to alter that now. We're not quite happy with that. So we have to make a few adjustments to this here now, which we're about to do. What we want to do is we don't want that sine wave playing at the very beginning of our tone. We want the sine wave to come in after that pulse. So you want to have the pulse wave first and the sine wave second. So actually, to make that happen, we have to turn down this L1 and 2 considerably. So we go down to about 25 for L1 and 2. Hear how it's changing? Hear how it's changing. So you can do all of this by listening to the tone, but you don't know what's in my head, and the thing will take too long. So what I'm trying to do here now is just get you set up so that all is well with you. So while we come up here now to the times, we are going to set the times on the initial thing to 0. And on the sine wave, we are going to, what are we going to do? We are going to set T2. We're going to set T2 to 33. That's what we're going to do. Alright, and all the rest will be 0. So T2 will be about 33. And all the rest will be 0. Right? Now, these things look rather small here, but they give you some idea of what's happening, because what's happening is we have muted, by these changes that we've made here with the levels and the times, we have actually muted the sine wave at the beginning, and we have emphasized it at the end. What we still need to do for this, tone is to match the levels of the voltage control amplifier for each of the tones. We want to emphasize the volume on the partial 1, and take it down on partial 2. How do we do that? Well, let's do that quickly. If we just go back 1 to the TVA, and what we can do is we can come down here to where it says partial level, and we can reduce that to about 94. So that will make the sine wave a little less overall loud. Okay, the last step, which is very important, is to save our patch. Otherwise, we will lose it when we turn off the power. So what we first of all have to do is to go over here to the common and find a tone category for our patch. Otherwise it will appear in the thing. So this is a synth voice. What will we call it? A synth effect. We can have synth FX or synth lead if we want. Alright, we'll put it in synth FX for right now. And what we will do now is we will exit here, and now we will write it. So we want to write the tone, so we go select, and we don't have to put it in such a high user tone. We have all the user tones here, so we'll use the next available one. Here we are, test wave. We'll call this one here now. We'll put it in there, and we'll have to rename it. So what we want to call this one is C S Alright, we need to have the numbers, CS10, because this was a tone I used to play with on the CS. Alright, let me see if I can find it. Where is it? I passed numbers just now. Here we are. 2, 3, 2, 1, 0. Right. CS10. CS10 tone. We'll allow that. Right, CS10 tone, and we'll save it to an unused voice, and we just have to press right. Are you sure? Yes. Now we have number 6 in the user category is a PCMS tone, number 6 in the user category, called CS10. For our next voice, we're going to go back to the edit mode, shift, tone edit, and we are going to turn off wave 2 by getting rid of that little pink dot. That's the first thing we're going to do. And then essentially we want no pitch envelope anymore on this wave. So we're going to come over, sorry, now we got to go up to the top. We're going to come over here to the pitch envelope. What am I doing? I come down here, turn that to 0. How do I get that to 0? Right, that one have to go up. Right, so we're having no modulation on the frequency, so we turn off the frequency modulation on tone 1. That's the first thing we're going to do. Next, we're going to come up here to the top, and we're going to go to the TVF and just make a couple of adjustments to the frequency and the resonance. We're going to lower the frequency here to 66 and increase that to about 51, the TVF envelope, and change our envelope. Of course, you can hear it at any time. Now we're going to make a slight change to the levels and times of the envelope for the filter here, and we're going to set T1 to 51. We're going to set T2 to 64. We're going to set T3 to 53. And we're going to come down here, and we're going to make L2 79. And L1 L3 41. Now you really can't see too good what is happening down here with these very little small windows showing the envelope. Hear that? But it still continues to sing out. We don't want it to completely sing out. So what we have to go now to do is to modify the, let's go back up to the top. Modify the TVA. The TVA just needs to be modified a little bit on the times and levels for that, in order to have it exactly how we want it to be. So let's come down here to the times. we would want about 30 on time 1. We would want about 25 on time 2. We would want about 30 again on time 3. And we would want 127 on level 1, 94 on level 2, and 33 on level 3. Now notice it's by changing the TVA envelope generator, we have changed it from a continuous sound into a percussive sound. In other words, we get that meow attack, and then it completely goes out. If I turned off the reverb altogether in the effects, if I was to turn off the reverb entirely, it would die out to silence. So it's actually a percussive. It's actually a percussive sound. So the last thing we want to do now is to save this before we lose it. So we go exit. We want to change the name, and we want to put it in a different location. So we go right, we go select, we go to the next available blank tone, and we come here and we are simply going to call this, what are we going to call this? What is the most, we're going to call it something descriptive. Meow. Okay, meow. Let's go down. M-E-O-W. Meow tone. Okay, so we go okay, meow tone, and we go right. And there we're good. So 2 beautiful tones that we can use for leads or effects. And let me show you where they are. Suppose we press enter now. Let me show you where to find them. There we are in Synth FX, right? You know, this is our list of the categories. So in Synth FX, where is it? We just had it. Gone the wrong way. It's down probably at the end. We could have put it in sound effects, but we had it in synth effects. That's why, because this thing has so many, there we are. Now, we have to find it here. Now, the user tones, these are the SNS tones, sorry, PRST preset tones in the bank. We have to come down. The user bank is after the preset bank. So we come down, user, CS tone and meow tone. Look at them there. Preset, user tones, GM2 tones, and then the external tones that we loaded from the, I showed you how to load in the external slots. So we have 2 external slots. We have external 3 and external 10. There we go. External 10 there at the bottom. Then we have GM tones there, user tones and preset tones. So once we put it in Synth Effects, we would find it in the user category. And we can easily load them back. We can load CS10 or we can load meow tone at any time. Thank you for watching, and we hope you've enjoyed the video. See you next time for another wonderful FA-06 video.